Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we are reacting to a Jonny Arnett video called the Top 5 Biggest Finals MVP Snubs. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Finals MVP snubs has to be 2015 Finals. Andre Iguodala winning Finals MVP over Steph Curry. Though I don't think it's as fraudulent as people say. Like, people say, oh, he held LeBron to 35 points a game. Well, yeah, but he did it. He averaged 35 points a game on below 40% shooting. So, I still think Andre Iguodala was very important to the Warriors' win. Though Steph Curry, he should have won Finals MVP. Let's be real here. So yeah, let's go. Let's see the four other. I know that one's gonna be here, but see the four other biggest Finals MVP snubs. Make sure also, as you know, subscribe to Jonny Arnett and watch the original video. After you've done that, though, can you please subscribe to me, guys? I don't promote saying subscribe that much.
The Finals MVP award was introduced to the NBA in 1969, and since then, many incredibly deserving players have taken home the award. With that being said, not every award winner was universally agreed upon by the basketball community. Today, I've put together my list of the biggest Finals MVP snubs in basketball history, and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my rankings. Number 5. JoJo White over Dave Cowans in 1976. This was a 6-game series where the Celtics defeated the Phoenix Suns 4-2.
Had arguably the greatest game in NBA history, I think it was a triple overtime game where there was just so many insane buzzer-beating shots and shots that didn't even count.
In 3 years. JoJo White was the Celtics starting point guard, and he's an NBA Hall of Famer. JoJo had some really great performances throughout the series, like in Game 5, when he played a total of 60 minutes in a triple overtime victory.
60 minutes?
In that contest, he dropped 33 points,
you make a documentary or something?
And 6 rebounds.
I haven't played an hour of NBA basketball.
52% shooting.
33.
That game specifically is known to many people as, quote, the greatest game ever played. Obviously, being the standout performer and one of the most iconic games of basketball history will certainly help your chances of securing the Finals MVP. The thing is, JoJo was pretty inconsistent throughout that series, and had some really disappointing nights as well. Like in Game 2, when he shot only 2 of 12 from the field, and in the championship clinching game, he was only 5 of 15. Cowans, on the other hand, was much more consistent in his production throughout the series. And when you look at their numbers side by side,
JoJo White averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 44% shooting. Cowans averaging 21, 16, and 3, 52% shooting. Yeah, Cowans should have definitely won this. Especially not, I think Cowans was a really good defensive player as well.
It seems pretty clear that Cowans was the more deserving player. Another thing to consider is how rebounding was one of the major deciding factors in this series, as Boston significantly out-rebounded the Suns throughout the finals, which translated to more possessions and more second-chance opportunities. Obviously, the player who deserves the most credit for that was Dave Cowans, as he averaged a monstrous 16.3 rebounds per game. JoJo White certainly wasn't the most awful choice, which is why this is only the 5th spot on my list. But when you look at the series as a whole, it seems at least somewhat clear that Cowans was in fact the correct choice. Number 4. James Worthy over Magic Johnson in 1988.
I know Worthy won this year mainly because he had a triple-double in Game 7.
Now let me be clear. James Worthy is my second favorite player of all time, just behind Kobe Bryant. When I was around 5 or 6 years old, I used to play basketball with my swimming goggles on, just because I wanted to look like Big Game James.
That's cute.
Obviously, it's not easy for me to say that Magic was the more deserving player, but it's the honest truth. These finals were a hard-fought 7-game series between the Lakers and the Detroit Pistons, and the 7th game was one of the all-time great classics, where James Worthy definitely stood out amongst the crowd. Now, there's 2 reasons why I believe they gave this award to Worthy instead of Magic. The first is voter fatigue. This was the Lakers'
voter fatigue in the finals. That's nasty.
And Magic had already been given the Finals MVP award 3 times, including the previous season where they had just defeated the Boston Celtics in the finals. When a player starts winning a voting-based award over and over again, people start to look around in order to find a new suitable candidate for the award. In this case, James Worthy fit the bill. The other reason why I believe the voters picked Worthy over Magic is because the voters tend to put too much emphasis on the final impressions. Like I said earlier, James Worthy was clearly the best player on the court for the deciding 7th game, as he put up a jaw-dropping stat line of 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists.
That's an amazing Game 7
shooting.
performance.
So yeah, he was the most impressive
Caleb Martin
player in the most suspenseful game of that season. But the thing is, Magic was clearly the better and more impactful
Caleb Martin saving NBA circle jerk, if you know, you know.
Player throughout the vast majority of the series. Here are the averages.
1988 finals, Magic Johnson averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 assists. Yeah, and 2 steals, 55% shooting. James Worthy, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 49% shooting. Yeah, he doesn't have much of a case other than that last game when you're looking at the rest of the series. I mean, he averaged 1 more point, but he averaged 9 less assists on a worse shooting percentage. Yeah, he doesn't really have much of a case.
Is in the 1988 finals next to one another. And with this, you can clearly see
other than an amazing Game 7.
But it gets the point across even better if we look at each game individually. In Game 1, Magic was clearly the better player, as Worthy was unusually inefficient. In Game 2, it was a legitimate toss-up. In Game 3, Magic was better. It's also worth mentioning that Magic put up these solid performances while battling the flu in Games 2 and 3.
Flu game.
In Game 4, it wasn't even close, as Worthy basically disappeared this night, missing much of the game due to foul trouble, which is a major reason why Detroit got the blowout victory. Again, in Game 5,
Man's got Finals MVP out of putting up 7-1-1.
The edge goes to Magic, who dished out a remarkable 17 assists.
Damn, 27% shooting though. Got 17 assists.
In Game 6, Magic nearly had 20 assists to go along with his 22 points. Finally, in Game 7, we have a game where Worthy was clearly the better player, and working in his favor was the fact that it was the last impression of the series. As much as I love Big Game James, and as big as he was in the clutch, Magic was clearly the more deserving player based on the series as a whole. Number 3. Cedric Maxwell over Larry Bird in 1981. This was a 6-game series where the
Magic and Larry both getting robbed of Finals
Celtics
MVPs.
defeated the Houston Rockets 4-2. Cedric Cornbread Maxwell is an underrated player and someone who was truly impactful for the Celtics throughout the playoffs. He was the Celtics' leading scorer and was extremely efficient while doing it. On the other hand, Larry impacted the game in more ways than Maxwell did. Here's the two players.
81 finals, Bird averaging 15 points. I know he mostly got robbed of Finals MVP because he only averaged 15 points, but I mean Maxwell only averaged 18. Averaged 15 points, 15 rebounds though, goddamn. 7 assists, 2 steals, 42% shooting. Maxwell 18 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 57% shooting. His shooting's a lot better. The rebounding and assists though, he averaged 4 more assists. I mean, I'm not that mad at this one, just because of the shooting percentage. More points per game on more shooting percentage. I think the rebounding, though, is really might stand him out here. I mean, 10 rebounds to 15 rebounds.
Your stats next to one.
And better defensively. Well, at least I think so, at least from the steals numbers.
And although it's clear that Maxwell was better at scoring this series, Bird led both teams in assists and steals, while being an absolute beast on the boards. In fact, he averaged roughly double the amount of rebounds of his 7-foot center teammate Robert Parrish.
Larry Bird is a very underrated rebounder. That's insane.
Was a huge point of emphasis heading into this series, since the Rockets had one of the greatest rebounders of all time, Moses Malone.
Yeah,
because of Bird, the Celtics rebounded the Rockets over the course of the series, regardless of the fact that Houston had the league's leading rebounder. Not only was Larry running the Celtics offense as the main facilitator, but without Bird's presence and grit under the rim, the Celtics certainly lose their rebounding advantage, and probably end up losing the series as well. Maybe there's an angle for the Celtics' leading scorer, but when you consider the context of the series and all the various ways Bird impacted the game, he seems to be the clear choice to me in 1981. Number 2.
Makes sense.
Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Curry in 2015. This was a 6-game series where the Golden State Warriors defeated an extremely short-handed Cavaliers team. This is recent enough history that I'm sure most of you will remember it.
Right.
Plain and simple, giving the award.
Well, I don't remember
to
much of it. I was 8
Iguodala
years old,
was a
but
narrative-based
I
move,
know about it.
and the argument itself was one of the dumbest narratives I've ever heard. The voters gave Iguodala the award mostly for the solid job he did defensively.
Okay, don't make the mistake in saying he held him to 35 a game when he only shot like 40% from the field.
On LeBron James. Now, did he do a decent job defending LeBron? Absolutely. But I also think it was extremely overblown. LeBron shot only 39.8%.
Okay, he's bringing
over
up the shooting
course of
percentage. Okay.
series. With that being said, he did nearly average a 35-point triple-double over the course of the finals. So it's not like he completely shut him down. On the other hand,
This is true. Yeah, Steph Curry definitely should have won this Finals MVP. Curry, the series averaged 26, 5, and 6, 2 steals, 44%. Iguodala, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 52% shooting. Yeah,
and you have Steph Curry, who was clearly more productive than Iggy was.
should have
in a
obviously won this
variety
Finals
of
MVP.
ways. If you want to give the efficiency edge to Iguodala, don't. It seems like many people
Don't.
have forgotten this,
Free
but
throws.
Iguodala was a major liability from the free throw line this series. Out of all of the Golden State players, Iggy had the second most free throw attempts overall, and he shot a pathetic 34.7%
Bro, that ain't even good. Oh my god, bro, that ain't even a good field goal
over the
percentage.
course of the final.
That barely a good 3-point percentage.
Just
That's
to
your free throw
emphasize
percentage.
how bad that truly was, consider how Shaquille O'Neal is famous for his terrible free throw shooting. Yet his percentage in the finals is tremendously higher than Iggy's was this series. Honestly, I remember being dumbfounded at the end of the finals that they gave the MVP to the guy I've been watching throw up uncontested bricks all series. Because of the boneheaded move of giving the award to Iguodala,
Boneheaded
this
move.
built up a negative narrative about Curry never winning a Finals MVP, which wasn't completely destroyed until Curry finally won the award in 2022.
Yeah, Steph Curry should definitely be a
But
two-time
the
Finals
truth is,
MVP.
that narrative never should have been a thing in the first place, because Curry was clearly the more deserving player in 2015.
100%.
Number 1, Wes Unseld over Elvin Hayes in 1978.
Oh yeah, I know what this one.
This was a hard-fought 7-game series that ultimately saw the Washington Bullets defeat the Seattle Supersonics. Yesterday,
I think Wes Unseld won this one because he was like viewed as the team leader, and Hayes was viewed as a more like selfish
back
player.
and watched much of this series, just to try to figure out what the heck the voters were thinking when they gave the award to Unseld over Hayes. And to this day, I can confidently say that I still have no idea. Wes Unseld certainly had a solid impact on the Bullets' chances, and he was viewed as the leading veteran on that team. But let's be honest, he wasn't even close to being the best player in these finals. When you look at their
Yeah, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Yeah, it wasn't even better defensively. 48% shooting. Wes Unseld, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 52% shooting. I mean, there is no argument for Unseld here. There just is no argument.
their numbers side by side,
Less points, rebounds. 3 more assists, but he averaged 12 less points. Yeah, worse defensively in every category. Slightly better efficiency, but once again, he averaged 12 less points.
Hayes absolutely crushes this comparison, as he averaged more than double his amount of points per game, more rebounds, way more steals, and way more blocks. The only major stat Unseld had the advantage in was assists, but even that wasn't a huge deal, as Unseld was only third on the team in assists over that series. Unseld probably wasn't even the second most deserving player in the finals, as the Bullets small forward Bobby Dandridge had a fantastic series.
Bobby Dandridge, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists,
of his
45%
own.
shooting.
For goodness sake, in games 2 and 3, Wes Unseld only scored 2 points on incredibly poor shooting from the field, while Elvin Hayes basically carried the team on his back, putting up 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks in Game 2,
Damn.
and then putting up 29 points,
He had to have done something to like offend the media.
20 rebounds,
Like, I don't
and 2
understand
steals
this.
in Game 3.
20 and
What makes
20.
the entire thing even weirder is that in the final seconds, as Game 7 was ending, the commentator for the CBS broadcast stated that Bobby Dandridge was the winner of the Finals MVP award. Yet when they returned from the commercial break, it was Wes Unseld who was being handed the MVP trophy. If something like this happened today, Twitter would absolutely explode, claiming that Elvin Hayes was straight up robbed of the award. People like me would
This is hightail robbery right
making
here.
constant videos about how this was the worst snub of my lifetime. And much of the basketball community would be speculating if there was some secret nefarious reason as to why the award was given to Unseld over Hayes. So what do you guys think? What are some of the biggest finals MVP snubs that you've seen?
Alright, so that was a pretty interesting video. Yeah, that last one I don't understand. Yeah, so do you have any other snubs do you think maybe people should have won over? You know, Sean Marion over Dirk Nowitzki? No, I'm just kidding, but I mean maybe. But yeah. Goodbye.